Da-da-da-ba-da-ba. We're the Raw Dogs.
Is that really how we're starting this?
Well, we'll give it a try.
We're recording.
Are we recording already?
Yeah, we probably are.
We're recording this on December 30th. It's coming to you this Thursday. This Thursday morning.
A brand new year.
A brand new year. It is a brand new decade.
I'm just thinking of 100 years down the line, someone's going to listen to this because we'll all be famous or in jail or...
They used to sound so terrible.
Yeah, they used to sound so bad back then. Mm-hmm. Video games, they are in a simulation at that point, right?
They rotted our minds.
We're all in mental asylums right now because the games have finally taken effect.
That's perfect.
It'd be cool if they just put us in the same cell.
Oh, we would
these guys,
other.
They had a podcast 25 years ago.
I'm just like...
They only talk like they're on a podcast.
I'm just repeating the Konami code. It's just like
they've been speaking corner. Into their shoes.
Right.
Well, yes, we're the Raw Dogs.
Yes.
My name is Brad.
And my name is Dylan.
And we have a very special guest today.
Hi, guys. I'm Tom. Thanks for allowing me to be on the Raw Dogs. I feel really raw today.
You should.
This is the rawest I felt in a long time.
We were
very thankful.
We were very desperate for a guest.
I actually booked Todd Howard, but he was busy fixing Fallout 76.
More like Todd Coward.
Whoa!
I think talk about foreshadowing. I think we might be talking about Todd Howard.
Be talking.
Well,
about
we're talking about the past decade in video games. We're going to go year by year. Talk about some of the major news, the controversies, what games we liked. And the reason we wanted to have Tom here is because he is a host of his own show. If you want to mention it, Tom.
I am. Thank you very much. I am a host of a show. It's called Headline Brews.
Tom is always someone who's very plugged into the news. And
try to be.
He's got a good perspective on what's going on in the industry.
Sometimes, sure. Yeah. At least that's what they tell me.
If he reads all the websites like I do, then yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I don't read all the websites you do, Dylan. Let's just say
I have a lot of
I read a
downtime.
few.
I don't really read that many websites anymore. I actually get my news from Hair the Dogcast, our main show.
Wow.
Which is kind of odd.
Dang, I'm so sorry. Everything you've heard is a lie.
Tom, do you want to get us started on 2010, though?
Sure. Let's start with the first year of this last fine decade, 2010. I was supposed to come up with a subtitle for this year, and I didn't really come up with one, but until now, and it sucks. So I'm just going to call this year, It Puts the Motion on Its Skin.
Oh, that's really good.
That's fantastic.
That's really
that's
good.
Horrible. I'm so sorry. So 2010 was quite a year. If we think back, this was the heyday of the 360 PS3 era, right? We're kind of cresting the wave. Actually, right now in 2010 was probably the time that new consoles should have maybe come out. In prior console years,
they've been getting more and more spread out.
Yes. We unfortunately had a recession in 2008, that whole thing, which kind of prolonged the consoles.
Yeah.
Their lifespan because people couldn't afford shit.
I think it's quite the boon to do that, even especially when this console generation came out. You have a lot more time to get real into the nitty-gritty on how that hardware works. And then working with those limitations can produce some of the best games of the generation, especially towards the end.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I was just buying so much weed, I had no money to buy games. So I was going through a personal recession.
It's a great year for weed. God, 2010, those strains are amazing.
Great year.
I think the major story of that year is the boon of motion controls. You know, the Wii kicked that off in 2006. And by 2010, this is when Sony and Microsoft really wanted to get in on get in on that action. Plus, it gave them a way to, we can't really sell a new console, but let's sell something that's kind of a new experience.
An add-on, a 32X.
Yeah.
If you will. But
more
as
functional.
Yeah, but as much as motion controls and like the Kinect and the Move are maligned these days, you know, the Move is still being used as part of like the PlayStation VR.
Yeah,
that's the only way you can manipulate fucking shit.
That's the only way you can Beat Saber it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my first time using the Move. I remember thinking it looked terrible. It's Nintendo Wii does something innovative, and then you see Xbox and PS4 just trying to, or PS3, yeah.
I think the Move actually looks relatively okay. I mean, everyone called it the lollipop.
Yeah, it was a glowing fucking
it was
ice cream cone.
But I honestly think that it worked really well.
It's better than the eye toy. I remember bouncing soccer balls on my head with the eye toy.
Eye toy's horrible.
I played a card game with the eye toy, the Eye of Judgment.
Yeah, wasn't that like one of those reality-based, you put a card in front of it?
It's AR, but then
AR,
it pops up on the screen. It made you feel like you were playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
Crazy.
The card game wasn't good, though.
I'm sorry to hear that, Dylan. I'm sorry for your loss.
Sorry for your loss, Dylan. Dylan experience.
The Dylan
experience.
It's
wrong shit. Do you guys still have the Dylan experience on Raw Dogs?
No.
We whisper it. So
I mean, that's basically my entire life. So
okay. Did you guys ever use the Microsoft Kinect? Because that was a pretty big deal at the time. In fact, it was such a big deal that Microsoft Kinect, their hands-free motion control device, became the fastest-selling electronic device in the history of electronic devices at the time.
Something like 8 million.
As much as, and everyone, laughs at the motion controls, like, oh, that was a bunch of shit. You look back at the history, it's like fucking people were like into this. Yeah. At least they bought it, and
it was fun.
I was impressed by it.
Did you buy one early? Were you an early adopter?
I wasn't day one. I was probably day 45 or something like that.
Okay, day 45.
He
still has it on his calendar.
Yeah,
this is when I bought this.
Well, I didn't really have at the time a lot of space, and you needed a lot of space for the Kinect to use it, and I just kind of moved out.
Well, especially because you were living in your car.
Yeah, and
there's no room for a Kinect in a vehicle.
No, that's true.
No, but if you put it on your dash, people think you're a cop. That kind of was the overarching story of that year. Motion controls did kind of take over 2010, in my opinion. Dropped off hard.
Oh, they did. I've actually got something to add. Mm-hmm. This is kind of a Dylan experience. Did you know they use the Kinect in ghost hunting?
Do they?
The Dylan experience. No, I did not. I know that the Kinect is usable for many different things. I didn't know that, though.
Yeah, so what they
use it for ghost hunting.
Because it can detect human form. And
it
can what it does is it creates a diagram out of you, essentially. It pinpoints where your joints articulate, and that's how it senses your motion. So they put it in rooms where they think there might be ghosts. They've used it on like ghost hunters and stuff like that, especially like Ghost Adventures. Have you ever seen Ghost Adventures?
I have not, but I can picture it in my head.
It's all bunk and hoke, because that's the one where it's this bro and he just yells at ghosts.
If you're in that room, you come out now, dude. Come out now. This is not tight, bro.
And I think Ghost Hunters International actually used.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah, I know.
We are in Belgium hunting this motherfucker.
Right. No, that's actually what it is. But you have no idea. Whenever a place signs up to be a part of those, tourism increases exponentially.
Oh, sure. If it hadn't been for you meddling kids.
Totally haunted. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's some Scooby-Doo level crap.
Yeah.
But yeah. Ghost hunting with the Kinect.
Yeah. Kinect also in the medical field. I know it was used there as well.
That's amazing.
For what?
Good question.
Kidney stones.
Oh, wow.
No, I don't know.
No,
You have, it talks suddenly, you have kidney stones.
For some reason, it can do 100% for sure verifiable diagnosis on kidney stones.
You have 5 months to live.
I don't know if it was the first Kinect or a Kinect 2 where it could tell like what temperature your body was at. It
was the second one. Yeah.
So I would say that was probably the biggest thing of 2010 for me. You guys remember 2010 at all?
I was not really in gaming at that point. I had my Wii that I brought to college with me, and being a poor college student, I could not. This would have been my sophomore year. I could not afford games. I think the one game I afforded myself that year I had two. One was Epic Mickey, real letdown. And then the other one was Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yes, not a shame. One of the best RPGs
That's a very good
ever.
one. And I spent a lot of time just finding random shit on the Gower Plains.
Oh, man, I love that game.
Memories,
baby.
Memories. Xenogears, baby. I'm on Bionicle now. Bionish.
You do have a beautiful singing voice, Tom.
Oh, thanks, guys.
I just want to hear your SpongeBob impression.
Yes, maybe. I'm not drinking tonight, so
so you won't.
So you know it's going to come out.
Not true. You're drinking water.
Oh, God damn it! Come on, theater of the mind.
Speaking of drinking, we're currently sipping on a beer from Thesis Brewing out of Rochester, Minnesota.
Rochester, Min.
We were back there on our way back from Christmas from South Dakota.
That's awesome.
Yeah, amazing beers. Get their Thesis Pieces Peanut Butter Blonde Ale. This is their Mosaic Pale Ale. delicious classic mosaic. And if you are in Rochester, Minnesota, check out Thesis for sure.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
It's crisp.
I need to try it out.
Yeah.
It's not overpowering either.
2010, when it started up that year, I know that I was probably just playing a lot of Halo 3 ODST probably.
Yeah, dog.
Yep, I like the firefight on there, and just Halo 3 Online was always something that was going on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Any other news you want to talk about from that year?
Not so much. I know this was kind of a year where you start to see a bit of the crumbling of the AA studios and some AAA studios. I was so sad when the Project Gotham Racing guys, Bizarre Creations Studios, got shut down. They were a developer, I think, primarily for Microsoft at the time, but I wasn't really into racing games too much. But I really liked the Project Gotham series, and
that's where you hung your hat in terms of those.
Yeah, for that time, I did, and then I know there were a few others, and I failed to catalog those. But you started to see a bit of the chinks in the armor coming for some of the studios, and then as we go through the decade, we'll see that the bottom of the AA developer pretty much just they go away.
It's only now starting to resurge.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Experiences that maybe are a little bit shorter and aren't open world, and
How about development houses that are like actually take risks and pave the way for the bigger dogs to say like, okay, maybe we can. Our investors will be okay with us putting this flight mechanic in.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of the during the E3, we've got the reveal of Skyward Sword, the worst Zelda game, actually. Yeah, and Skyward Sword was bad.
It was a 20-hour game and a 50-hour game for me.
Yep.
And
those sword mechanics just...
Let's just say being a left-hander, it was almost unplayable, but somehow I finished.
That makes me happy, at least. Even if the game sucks that you had to struggle with your left hand, that kind of is funny.
It fucking no,
it is funny.
The shitty thing is in every other game, Link is left-handed. So they switch it to right hand.
The moment that you're going to have your shining point here.
Motherfucker.
They got you.
Oh, my God.
They got you.
I was like doing weird
torsions. You got dunked on.
I did. Thanks.
And they did it personally, I hear.
What are your favorite games of the year?
For me, I would say Fallout Vegas, New Vegas was probably my top. Big fan of the Mass Effect 2 that came out that year. Mm-hmm. But Fallout Vegas was probably the tops of my pops. It actually was the first-person Fallout game published by Bethesda that was actually felt like a Fallout game. As much as I love Fallout 3, when it came out in 2008, it just wasn't the same. You could tell it didn't have the quirkiness, the vibiness to it. When I played New Vegas, it was like, wow, okay, great. And it was set back in the West Coast, kind of where the original Fallout computer games were set. Mm-hmm. And it definitely felt. And I'm still floored to this day that Obsidian, as bugsy as it was, they were able to get this game out as big as it was in the time frame that they had to make it.
Mm-hmm. Obsidian is a very good development company.
Yes.
It's a shame they don't get the credit they deserve half the time.
But I hope that changes in the future now that they got that Microsoft money behind them.
Well, the Outer Wilds, which is their recent release,
Outer
Worlds. Sorry,
I get them mixed up all the time.
I'm sorry. I did play the Outer Wilds, so that's why it's further in my head.
I did play that too.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sum
it up. Yeah. So my game of the year for that year was Red Dead Redemption.
Yes.
I didn't get to playing it until that next year, but man, did I go full hog. I did the multiplayer on this, and I'm not a huge multiplayer guy. As I've gotten older, I'm more into it. I find it more satisfying.
You're attending weddings in Final Fantasy 15.
That's right, that happened. Has anybody contacted you yet?
14.
No. Red Dead is fantastic. It's so good. Such a good story. I prefer it to things like GTA. GTA often feels a little bleak and weird, and there's something about Red Dead Redemption, because I'm a Western fan in general. Mm-hmm. My favorite movie is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which it's actually tied with Taxi Driver.
Makes a lot of sense.
Everything. Thank you. Thank you. No, but everything about the game worked for me. The controls are really tight, which I can't say for its sequel, but that game itself, it had the proper momentum. Everything felt right. You still got your horse. The world was large and expansive, but it still felt like you could do a bunch of stuff in it. It wasn't just scenery to chew, essentially.
Myself as well. When we were talking talking about our games of the decade, that was one that was just up there where I'm like, maybe this is my game of the decade.
I maybe think about that game once every week just because of the impact it left on me.
Certainly the game of the generation for me.
Really?
That of the 360 PS3
perfect.
generation.
My game of the decade is from this year as well. I went with Halo Reach, which I don't think is by any means necessarily the best game, but it is my favorite.
That's all it needs to be.
I forgot how excited I get with a Halo release. I remember with Halo 2 waiting a couple of years, and the Halo 3, you pre-order the big helmet, it shows up.
So even to this day, like the more modern ones?
Well, Halo Reach, the moment I just put it in, and it's got that beautiful opening title with you see the planet Reach coming up. Bungie did something so amazing with their level creation, the way you could find other user-created levels and gameplay styles. People are creating brand new ways to play the game, racing. There's so many things going on there, and it, to me, is still the epitome of couch co-op. As far as getting people together, before we have the Midwest Gaming Classic this year, I'm already planning we're going to have a Halo party that night here.
Awesome.
We're going to get some people together. Halo Reach, played that game so much for years, and it just dropped on the MCC collection. I bought it again, which I shouldn't have had to, but it was like $9. I'm like, whatever, I'll buy it.
You got to do it. Yeah, you got to do
worth it at that point.
Let's go to 2011, Dylan.
All right. So 2011, my caption or title for this year is Skyrim Job.
That also works.
Just because I'm definitely not going to be clever with these.
My subtitles need to be way filthier if I'm going to keep up with you guys.
For the next year, I actually wrote one down because I got confused about the years until literally 4 hours ago because I had it in my head. I had 2012, 2011. It has all my favorite games most of my favorite games of the decade on it.
It's a great year.
You got Skyrim, obviously. That trailer. Do you remember when that trailer dropped?
Oh yeah.
Holy cow!
The one where it's panning against the wall, the Dragon Wall.
And then that's the chorus. Dovahkiin. Yeah, it's so good. And
anytime you have a choir of men singing, you know it's getting serious.
Oh god,
and they're just grunting. It's wild. That was one of the most watched trailers on YouTube for the time.
And it kind of snuck up on you a little bit. So you didn't hear a lot about Skyrim before. It was all of a sudden going to be there.
Well, Oblivion was a hit.
Oblivion was huge. I don't know. They didn't do the Final Fantasy VII remake thing and announce it 5 years before it might come out.
That's a great point.
After seeing it,
they announced it in August. It was coming out or maybe it was June or July. But they announced it in the summer. And it's coming out this fall, and that fucking blew people's minds. And Bethesda has been
the way to. That's for
following that formula since.
For reference, that's the way to do it.
Yep.
That gets me hyped about a game way more than if I especially like Pokemon. You knew Pokemon was coming out this year, and you were just waiting for the trailer, and then they give you a little information piecemeal. No, just tell me 2 months before, and I will crap my pants. The Sony PlayStation Network got hacked.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yep.
Twice. Little known fact about me, for a long time, I was very wary about putting my credit card information on the internet itself. And so I would actually go to physical GameStops and buy the PlayStation Network cards.
The cards, yeah.
That's cool, though.
So I didn't get hacked.
Good for you.
Tom, I hear you did.
I did. I got hacked. I don't think anybody used my fucking credit card. Not that I really gave a
You were so
when you were our age.
I was when I was your age.
Dude, he was older than that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
2011. Yeah, probably. It's comparable.
Grandpa Tom.
Yeah, God, stop it, guys. Come on.
You know what would make you sound a lot more young? If you gave us a SpongeBob impression.
I don't know what SpongeBob sounds.
Yes, you do.
No, he doesn't, dude.
He doesn't? Oh, you're that old.
He knows what Johnny Quest sounds like.
Scooby-Doo. Yeah.
Give me a Shaggy.
Yeah. Fucking Steamboat Willie.
Just whistling.
Nailed it.
Yeah, so I did get hacked, and they gave away as a consolation prize, I think you got like a free month of fucking PlayStation or I don't know what it was. It was something ridiculous.
Here's a free month.
And then you get like a selection of games that were like the oldest games ever, that they could possibly give you. So,
I read on here you've got Mod Nation Racers.
I did. I still have that.
Mod Nation Racers is very good.
Is it? Okay.
I'm actually going to go to bat for Mod Nation Racers in terms of content and creatability.
I just want to have my narrative, man.
You can't. It's a great game. I would play that any day of the week. You get to create your own carts. It's great.
But it was just kind of phenomenal that it was down for so long.
Frustrating.
And frustrating for people who, primarily
Actually,
played
yeah.
on the the PS3.
Also, the Nintendo launched the 3DS. It was not a hit at first. It was
not.
It was actually kind of another disaster for them. First in a series of them for a little while. First of all, the games that came with it. What did we have? Ocarina of Time, the remake for the 3DS or the 3DS, yeah. Then you had, which sold out
Was that a launch?
right away. Yeah, which sold out apparently right away, and you couldn't find another copy for like 5 months.
Okay.
Then you had like what? Steel Divers, Nintendogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how about the fact that it was like $250 or something?
$250.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
The DS was what? 200?
150.
Was it 150?
I have a problem with.
I think it was 150.
I think you're right. It was 150.
The first one. Yeah.
I have a problem with Nintendo reusing console names. Wii U, 3DS. It doesn't feel necessarily like it's the next console, just another iteration.
Yeah.
When they reuse a name, it doesn't feel like this is the next step. It is just another part of this.
Yeah, I do like 3D, the 3DS. Like for some reason that's
that
okay-ish.
works though.
And it's still a dual screen, but I don't know. It's like with the Wii U. I remember like there was some weirdness going on with that title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll allow it.
No, but the 3DS, it became one of my favorite consoles.
Yeah.
Once I knew the Switch was coming out though, I said, bye-bye.
Yeah.
I don't need anything else. For reference, for the listener, the Switch is my favorite console of all time.
Damn.
It has most
It's
of the
like you're
games.
living the
Most of the
history right
games.
now.
Most of the games that are listed on here for my favorite games of each year are now on the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only just a few
'cause
of them
it's
are.
Nintendo.
Yeah. So everybody ported all their stuff to it. I don't care about the resolution. I don't care about frames per second. I care about good games.
And there are some good games.
Absolutely.
Bloodstained on the Switch, very good.
Oh, girl.
Final Fantasy VIII, that quality mobile PC port that they threw on there.
No, Final Fantasy VIII is the good one. That's the remaster.
it's 9 that is shit.
9
Oh, really?
does not look good.
9 is German for no.
9.
Yes. 9 does not look good. And it does
Hatzmund.
not play good either. The menus are so
too bad.
ugly. Whatever.
We're forgetting the biggest console release that year, though, the PS Vita.
Ooh, I forgot about the Vita.
Now, that's a bad name for a console.
Yeah, but it was such a good system. I owned it for a while.
To play Persona 4?
Yes, I specifically bought it for that purpose because I no longer had a PlayStation 2, and finding an actual copy of Persona 4 for the PlayStation 2 was nigh impossible. It was a rare game at that point, even though that game came out in 2008.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That was the definitive version. I love Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah, never played.
I don't
the
have. Let
Vita.
me put it this way: I don't have my PlayStation Vita anymore. I still have the Golden card with my memory on the memory. stick.
All my memories are on it. Once it wipes, still in his.
Me and all my friends back in that quaint little Japanese town where people got murdered through televisions.
Yeah,
I still have my original Xbox without the update on Phantasy Star Online, so I still have all of my Heaven's Punisher just safely protected over there.
That's awesome.
I'll probably never turn it back on, but it's there.
There you go.
All right, what do we got for games of the year, gentlemen?
Oh my god.
For me, we're talking about what did I write?
Dark Souls.
Oh, duh.
I can edit my.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you what your
Souls.
favorite
You can
game
if you want.
is.
No, yeah, Dark Souls. I don't know what else I could possibly. I don't know what else I can possibly say about Dark Souls that hasn't already been said. What a game! Crazy. Level design, world building, through level design.
Oh yeah.
Deliberate, intentional gameplay where you actually have to think at every given moment.
Or just listen to our Game of the Decade episode, which just dropped today at Hair of the Dogcast.
So that's actually where I'm going to leave it because we did talk quite a bit on that episode. But Dark Souls,
Yeah,
and
you and I had both had the same Game of the Decade.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not going
I'm with you
to.
all
I'm not
the way,
going to
bud.
beat too hard on that drum.
My game of the year was Portal 2.
Right.
That first Portal came out with the orange box. It seemed kind of just like a little afterthought almost, this tight little campaign. Portal 2 takes that world and just cranks it up to 11. They added Stephen Merchant as the voice of Wheatley.
So good.
Never has a game made me laugh so much. That is truly funny. And
It's smart.
Not pandering like
J.K.
Borderlands.
Simmons. Oh,
yeah. Oh, J.K. Simmons is Cave Johnson.
Cave Johnson.
And when
I gotta go play that again.
when GLaDOS is in a potato, she's like, "How are things for you?" Because I'm a potato.
The best villain in video games. Oh, man.
And the song at the end. Portal 2, truly unique gameplay, where it's a new style of puzzle game that I hadn't experienced before. I just loved Portal 2. And I've yet to beat co-op because me and my buddy John Kyle Holtz, we smoked way too much. And all of that spinning around, I'm like, dude, nope.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. I tried so hard to play co-op with my girlfriend at the time, and she had never played a 3D game before.
Oh, no.
So
Good
didn't
luck.
know the twin dual thumb thing. She had played Aladdin for Super Nintendo. It was like the only game she ever played.
A first-person game, too. That's there's something about a third-person like adventure game where you're like seeing them from the back. That's a little bit different because you can kind of get an idea that you're controlling the camera.
They should just call the co-op campaign friendship/relationship stress test.
God.
Right.
Yeah.
They should just have a mode that's relationships that just plays one. Makes the person think they're playing it, but the computer's just like playing it for them.
So
I think we might still be together. Bethesda releases Elder Scrolls V Skyrim on November 11th, 2011, aka 11/11/11, baby. Woo. It sells over 3.5 million units in 48 hours. We received our own Dragonborn this day when Eric and Megan Kellermeyer named their newborn Dovahkiin, cementing lifelong free games from the game company. That's fucking smart.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
My favorite game of the year was Skyrim, and I just want to preface that as Dark Souls is obviously my game of the decade. So Skyrim, what a great game, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay,
no,
moving on.
No, I think it's almost if you have never played this game, have you been living under a rock?
Everyone has been.
I think actual rocks can now run this game.
It's available on
yes,
every
rock.
It's every rock.
I love it for the rock. I prefer it on the rock too because the graphics are a little bit better.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because they re-released it on the rock too.
Mm-hmm.
Literally every rock that's come out.
They call it the re-rocked edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The very hard edition.
So again, I wanted to ask you guys, were you immediately amazed by this game?
Yes.
I remember picking up a Game Informer and reading it before work started at a movie theater and just looking at the pictures of this game being so fucking jacked.
Yeah.
And then the game starts up and it's as good as you've been waiting for. Mm-hmm. That feeling of Elder Scrolls having this brand new world open up. Every time that happens, it's like being born again.
Yeah.
It's
Dragonborn again.
It is pure magic.
Dragonborn this way.
It is so rare that a game can create such a sense of wonder and a need for exploration. I was addicted to the exploration in this game above anything. The combat, I mean, it hasn't aged very well. But when you first got into that world and you tried to make your way to like Whiterun, and then along the way you saw like 20 caves, and you had to know what was in there. Like maybe there was a cool item.
Yeah.
Maybe there was another cheese wheel.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a conveniently done dungeon that always has a back door to the entrance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They all were.
Like, to be honest, and this is with me with like most post Oblivion Bethesda games, I was a little bit underwhelmed by it at first, and I don't know why. I think I just purposefully go into these games thinking like, come on, Bethesda, fucking wow me. Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, okay, I see they prettied up the engine. It's nice. The thing I remember the most was when I first started it, you get 80 fucking quests all at once, right? Yeah. Jesus, now I'm overwhelmed by quests. I just want to explore, right? And then I'm just walking around and some motherfucker comes up to me and gives me a fucking quest,
I've been looking for you.
Yeah, I'm like, another one? Yeah. Jesus Christ, I just want to settle in here, Yeah. Come on, I'm the Dragonborn, not fucking FedEx. Let me give me some time to breathe here.
Even a save that I've played, 150, 200 hours, I can boot it up, and there's still things I haven't done. I remember doing that just kind of on a whim to say, I haven't played Skyrim in a while, and I got into this whole quest where I was locked into a prison. Everything was stripped from me. It was this hour-long quest, and it was fantastic. You had to stage this whole prison escape. Mm-hmm. You had to choose which side you want to go on. I opted to go for the natives, which were painted as the bad guys. But it's like, y'all, the Felscore aren't that bad.
No.
Yeah. You kind of you put them in a corner and then they got mad.
Yep.
There's so much world building and lore and richness to those games. The gameplay isn't the best, but Skyrim, there's a reason that it gets released every fucking other year. And there's a reason people are still playing it because it is that good.
I could still play it today.
There is a pull. There's a pull to that game where I will just out of the blue boot it up.
Yep.
And I don't know why I did. Where I'm just like, I just kind of want to just...
How many characters have you started?
I just want to be in the world for like a couple minutes.
10 different stealth archers.
Yes, 10 different stealth archers. I've got a bit of a question, and this is kind of it's not like an icebreaker. I shouldn't say that, but it's kind of a how do we see each other kind of question. What race do we think each other would be if we were in the game?
You are a mage.
Well,
That's
I mean
not
a race.
though.
Oh, a race. Okay.
Don't judge people by their jobs.
You're a Dunmer.
You think, okay, a dark elf. Okay.
I could see that.
Okay. I think, Tom, no offense, man.
Go ahead.
You're an Imperial.
Ooh.
He's got the look.
Yeah.
You think, oh, come on. No way. I do like being a Khajiit.
You're definitely not a Khajiit.
You're not
I'm
a
sorry.
Khajiit, though.
Your personality-wise, like...
Khajiits are persecuted.
Yeah.
And everyone just
I have red
expects
hair.
the worst of them.
Guys, I have red hair.
I think I'm a Khajiit. Everyone just like, oh, that fucker's
I know
So that makes you more
the
of an
plate is
Imperial.
real. Yeah, exactly. No, I do play as an Imperial.
You get that money bonus, which can really affect the game, especially later. I mean, eventually you get rich no matter what, but if you can start out wheeling and dealing with money, you're great.
I might put you as an Argonian. They're always just like licking weird tree sap and worshiping strange gods.
Maybe. I could be an Argonian.
Yeah.
I like
The
lizard
Argonian
people.
Maid.
I'm the lusty
best
one.
book.
Lifts her tail.
Well, then, Brad, you are
Yeah.
either a Nord,
Yep.
Or-
VPN. Our
was gonna
first
say,
sponsor, NordVPN.
NordVPN.
Yeah. Starting trouble. There's like everyone's kind
You
of.
felt at home in Skyrim.
I did. I loved that. I love just exploring in the snow everywhere.
2012, Brad.
Brad, take us
2012. Some filthy pun thing that I didn't come up with, or we who or why you.
Oh, why you? That's all right.
2012 didn't bring the end of the world as we know it, as some had predicted, but it did bring us the lovable failure that was the Wii U.
Oh, so lovable.
I
Was it?
honestly think I really liked
I
that console.
loved the Wii U.
The Wii U's a nice
I
console.
have a weird relationship. I want to love it, but sometimes I'm just like,
It's a
not quite
confusing.
there.
I didn't get one until 2014, and I really only bought it for Mario Kart and Earthbound, which I had never played up until that point.
Yep. For me, it was Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. That was that's the reason you buy any
Buy a
Nintendo
console,
console.
yeah.
They didn't have a killer Mario app. I'm not a big new Super Mario Brothers.
3D World,
3D World.
was really good.
I didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
Oh,
I loved it.
love that game.
Me too.
I can't wait till it's ported. I will buy that first day.
That's
because
the only reason I want to think about
I had-
hooking in my Wii U.
it's one of those things where you can have someone over and they immediately understand how this game works. All you need is a game, like an analog stick and two other buttons. It's as classic as a game can be, but also extremely modern.
That game was okay. Wasn't there an extremely difficult level at the end? I remember suffering through that.
The Star Road.
The Star Road.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I beat that one. I think I was just too frustrated and didn't care after.
Oh,
a while.
I almost 100% in that game.
Yeah.
I'm
you have
very
to beat,
good
you
at
have to beat it
3D
with all
Marios.
5 characters.
Yeah.
You're a madman. There was a
That is
very
pretty fucked up, dude.
Thank you.
the Dylan experience with a very weak lineup of launch games and some confusion of what the console really was. Had a really slow start.
Yes.
It only seemed to catch its footing a little bit later on once they started to get your Mario Karts and your Smash Brothers. But
By then
Even
it was
then,
too late.
no,
It was too late.
You couldn't salvage the.
you couldn't salvage it. There was still a lot of really amazing games that came out on that console, which, if anything,
Yes.
it created a vehicle to get greater games for the Switch later.
Or as a vehicle to actually get the Switch. It was like Switch Point 5, They incorporated the almost portability of the controller.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good evolutionary step to get to Switch.
Now, if they had
so I'll give it props for that.
If they had Breath of the Wild ready to go as a launch game for the Wii U,
They would have been fine.
they would have been so fine. Wasn't ready.
I think they would have been finer.
I have played, by the way, I have actually played it on the Wii U.
the Wii version.
Not many people have.
Yeah. Josh's girlfriend has it for Wii U.
It's interesting It's actually really nice. The map is right there for you. That's one of the great things about.
That's cool.
That's one of the great things about the Wii U is that you had that extra screen. And while some people found that annoying, I found it really great, especially with like Legend of the Wind Waker re-release.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is one of the most gorgeous looking games on
beautiful.
the Wii. Like not just on the Wii U. I'm talking about this decade because it was re-released and it was revamped, more like bloom lighting, stuff like that. Looks so delicious.
Dope.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Wii U. It deserved better.
Yeah, I liked Toad's Treasure Tracker.
Yeah.
That was a good game. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze
Yes.
is my favorite game on that system. And playing Super Mario Maker with the touchpad.
It's so much easier than
the stylus.
So much easier. I tried getting into the Mario Maker 2 on the Switch.
Yeah.
The creation. Yeah. And it is it's the best they could do. Fine.
Give me those autoplay levels. They're so great.
Yeah, I always win. I've never felt so good.
Sometimes they're clever. I'll give them that.
So the Wii U happened. Kickstarter's viability to fund video games was really proven this year. Over $83 million was pledged to video games on the website.
Awesome.
Special note was Double Fine's adventure game Broken Age, which had its own controversy with how long it took to come out. Over $3 million was given to that game itself.
Yeah, they were the first to go through the ringer of at least experience some of like the pitfalls of funded development when they were halfway through the game and realized, oh shit, we're out of money. So we're gonna have to release half the game, sell it so we can raise the money, finish the other half of the game.
But they did it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad game at all.
It's not. Game. They really made the second half a little too difficult, but we're not here to talk about that.
No, we're not.
But it is a very, very good game.
Yeah. You'll get your adventure games episode.
What games have you guys backed on Kickstarter?
None.
Bloodstained is, I think, the only one.
Your mattress? Oh, Kickstarter.
Oh,
hey, Zinga. There's the new title for the episode.
Oh, boy.
Bloodstained. Symphony of Tom's Mattress.
Oh, my God.
Symphony of...
Stop it.
Symphony of, oh my God.
I do back, the only things I back on Kickstarter so far are vinyl records or third edition books. I just got the history of the Kingdom Hearts franchise through Kingdom Hearts 2.
I am not looking forward to that episode.
Oh, God.
Dude, that book is so big and tedious, and I'm just so not looking forward to it. But I will.
It's going to kill us, but we'll be fine.
If you guys have ever seen it, the documentary about the Double Fine game.
I looked up some of it today. It looks really good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like games. I mean, they start from the time that their Kickstarter is funded, they're looking at the computer, to looking at all the money, to the day they ship the final chapter. And all the shit that goes in, and there's layoffs, and it's insane.
I don't even know how I want to pronounce this, but the Ouya?
The Ouya.
The Ouya.
Ouya.
That's the Ouya.
The Ouya.
The Ouya video game console was also funded.
Nobody funded the Ouya?
People did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no. That should have been the subtitle.
Yeah. Oh, no.
You know that was in a couple of the...
no, we who?
Oh, no, we who?
Oh, God.
So...
Get me out of here.
What was the Ouya... What was unique about it? It wasn't from a major publisher, and they were going to be able to...
No, you could basically publish any games you wanted on their service system. The problem was it was all shovelware crap.
Yeah. With Towerfall, I think was
it's like
a good game on it.
Towerfall was good, but one of the things people give shit to Steam all the time about how they curate their games and what they let on there, but when you see something like the Ouya, it really puts things into perspective.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then it died shortly after.
That's still a better name than Stadia. It's up there.
I don't know.
They started producing new commercials for it with Reggie Watts.
Yeah,
that's who
really
it is. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Because they realized they made a mistake not advertising to the common man. Essentially,
it's a hot steaming pile of garbage. Moving on, something that I don't know how big of a deal it was, but I love the term Dorito Gate.
Oh yeah.
Growing concern of corruption in video game journalism brought the term Dorito Gate. It largely came from when Jeff Keighley was doing a promotion. He was doing a promotion for Halo 4 surrounded by a sea of Doritos in an ocean of Mountain Dew, talking about how great it was that you could buy Mountain Dew and get in-game experience. It's watching a journalist sell their soul. He looks so defeated and depressed when he's doing it, too.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the worst trends. Not the worst, but it's a trend I really don't like to see is real-world products having an effect on in-game experience.
Well, especially if like you need to buy Doritos in order to get a certain gun or something. Like, can I say something real quick?
Nope.
I thought about it just today. No, this will be another.
Everyone braces themselves whenever you hear that qualifier.
Today,
holding.
We're talking about like. So I was thinking because someone had to win this in a contest, and this could have been like a Doritos. It probably was, or like pizza rolls. Yeah. Near my house, there is someone who owns a Jeep that is Modern Warfare 3 themed. And it has the actual emblem on the side. The wheel cover is Modern Warfare themed. But it is officially branded.
Do you think it was like an original promotional
somebody
literal vehicle?
I looked it up. Somebody won it. And that person lives 4 blocks away from me.
Yeah, it was famous.
Someone's famous.
Let's go key it.
I did in high school.
You live close to him.
After every basketball game, I was good friends with the janitor, and I had him pick up every.
Well, his name explains a lot.
His name was Ray, and he was very cool. But I'm like, dude, if you see Mountain Dew caps, can you just like grab them for me? And then after every high school basketball game, he'd bring me a garbage bag with like 50 caps. I had enough to get. I got my second Xbox. Xbox from the Mountain Dew caps that was collected. And I bought him a nice gift card to a restaurant for that.
Nice. Oh, that's great.
Good job for Ray. He's a ray of hope.
That's a good way for Mountain Dew to support my video games. I don't want to have to buy them, though, in order to get a new skin on Halo 4.
Right. You just manipulate a grown man. He's probably economically depressed.
I think I got a Pepsi skin, and I wanted it because I thought it would be funny.
You know, if you want to have, Sneak King as a game, okay, I support that promotion.
At least that's a game. Actually, it's not bad. It's funny.
I heard it's good.
Chex Quest is probably the best one that was made.
Never had Chex Quest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a Doom clone. It actually was pretty good.
Yeah.
I remember getting it and playing as a kid. I was like, this is a game. Mm-hmm. I didn't expect that in a box of cereal. But
yeah, there were some really like talented developers, known names who were behind that game. Or have become known names that were behind that game. So.
Well, we're going to play Chex Quest for we'll play it for a Twitch.
Yeah, then there was also the Game Media Awards where journalists were instructed to tweet about a certain game so they could win a game console, which just seems...
Oh, so shilly.
It's so shilly, and...
Great.
I don't know, journalist integrity has been fucked forever, so it's not that big a deal. I know something Tom was probably pretty concerned about was Disney buying Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
You should have been.
I think
this year has been proof. I think the past few years have been proof positive. Poopy positive
has been poop positive.
It's poop positive. Oh my god. Oh man.
I will say when I first heard that news, the first thing that went through my mind was, oh no, LucasArts is
done.
Something's going to happen to LucasArts.
It did give us the picture, though, of George Lucas holding a lightsaber surrounded by Mickey Mouse and Minnie and all of them dressed as Jedi.
That was very funny. With his big old like neck jiggling in the wind.
He looks so fucking miserable in the picture.
Signing the...
George Lucas is so
that
good.
Poor billionaire.
He's so good at showing up places and looking just like fucking angry about it.
Remember when he called Disney white slavers?
Dude, amazing. Dude, kudos to George Lucas.
That's very funny.
Yeah, and then
he's laughing now. Yeah, we're all under the spell.
EA fucks up so bad.
I love this new trilogy.
EA fucks up so bad Disney has to come in. Even like we are upset with what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh God,
yeah.
The most downvoted comment in Reddit history.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious and warranted.
Oof.
Disney buys Lucasfilm. Nothing good will come of that until The Mandalorian way down the line.
Expansions ahoy! Dawnguard releases on June 26th, allowing you to participate in Twilight cosplay in game. What really? Oh, okay, that was a joke. Ever want to build a real home, get married, and adopt an orphan? You're in luck. Hearthfire dropped on September 4th. The final expansion released on December 4th this year with Dragonborn, allowing you to venture back to Solstheim in Morrowind, finally introducing werebears into Skyrim.
I am sworn to carry your burdens.
Yep, all the 3 expansions for Skyrim came out.
Which one's your favorite?
Well, definitely Dragonborn. Having that whole new slice of Morrowind was great. I did really enjoy the Dawnguard vampire storyline was great.
Fuck. I was like immediately like, I'm going to be the vampire.
Well, literally everyone. I still haven't done the vampire hunting segment, which I'd like to.
That part's really cool because you get some really sweet weapons.
And you can also have the dogs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The dogs. The dogs that won't die. That's the dogs that won't die. Yeah. That's the difference.
They won't die.
They won't die.
They were good. I definitely like Dragonborn. I liked them all, but yeah.
Well, you get to go into the plains of Oblivion to Hermaeus Mora with those
the
Oblivion libraries.
And he talks like this.
Hello, Dragonborn. Hey, that's
it's more like this. And he
Isn't that Snuffleupagus?
Like this.
No, it's Eeyore.
Hello, Dragonborn.
Oh, I don't know, Dragonborn.
Oh, I don't know.
Why don't you try and find my
Did you know there was an episode of Sesame Street where because they were worried that, like, because Big Bird was saying that Snuffleupagus was real, that kids would be afraid to come forward with things because people wouldn't believe them. So essentially they had an episode where Snuffleupagus appears after Big Bird says that he exists, and then every one of the adults in the neighborhood apologizes to Big Bird.
Oh, I remember being a kid watching that.
Jesus,
you saw that one?
Christ.
I remember that whole arc.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when I was watching Sesame Street.
Like a million years ago?
I watched it on a replay 30 years for the anniversary of that episode.
Yes.
When I was a kid.
It wasn't actually a TV show then. It was just
it was a text adventure game.
It was a Punch and Judy show at the local corner market.
Yeah.
It was played on a Nickelodeon.
No, they just sent me they sent me daguerreotypes in the mail of scenes.
It was paintings on the side of a cave wall.
Thank you.
It was wood
well,
carvings.
look at the time. Fuck you and your years, guys.
Oh,
wow.
Apparently I don't have many left. So I'm not going to waste some of you fuckers.
It's getting late for Tom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite games of the year. My favorite game of the year was Mass Effect 3.
Good choice.
Well, it did stumble before it made the jump at the end. Yeah. The ending wasn't great, but there was still just those huge moments when you are saving
Fun as fuck.
My favorite moment is when you're saving the Krogan species, and then there's the giant sandworm comes up. I remember just like, Jesus, this game is so good. And then you have Morden.
It had to be me.
Morden singing the song,
yeah.
The Scientist Solarian.
Yeah.
I'm cutting that song in right fucking now because I want to listen to that.
I am the very model of a Scientist Solarian. I've studied species Turian, Asari, and Batarian. I'm quite good at genetics as a subset of biology because I am an expert, which I know is a tautology. My xenoscience studies range from urban to agrarian. I am the very model of a Scientist Solarian.
The Geth, and then you have Tally, whatever her species was.
The Quarians.
You have to decide, and if you're good enough, you can kind of save both of them.
I saved both.
Yeah, I saved both. But honestly, you created the Geth, and they became sentient. You got to give them their respect.
Yeah, I always sided with the Geth because I always saw them as like, well, they were unwitting like creations, and now they just want to survive. But then they're being manipulated by the Reapers too. So
Shepard. And
Rex.
Garrus is like, I'm not going to fuck you, Shepard.
Even though he wanted to.
I didn't have Garrus for the whole game.
What?
I killed him in
3?
2.
He died in the suicide mission?
Yeah.
So he died immediately. You didn't upgrade your ship at all?
What?
What's your problem?
I don't know.
How
I
did
never
you-
had him in 3.
If you don't upgrade your ship, Garrus dies.
How did you not restart all of the games so you could have Garrus? This is bothering me. He's one of the best characters.
I didn't connect.
So you didn't get the scene where you're fucking around on the Citadel and you're like shooting shit out of the air?
That's so great.
Oh,
Garrus,
no, dog.
Ultimate homie.
I legitimately feel like I'm friends with a video game character.
I like the tattooed bald lady.
Jack.
Oh, Jack?
Jack.
So, of course, Brad.
I like Jack.
God, no, she's fine.
You really break through to her.
She's,
Girl with the dragon tattoo.
Who was your romance?
Jack.
Yours was Jack, okay. What do we think Tom's was?
I was a big Miranda
Not
fan.
Rex.
Yeah.
You were a what? You were a Miranda fan?
I was a Miranda, yeah.
Because of that ass?
Shepard.
That ass.
Dude,
Shepard, take
it's also
off
based
that
off of like a real person too. Like,
Right.
Oh yeah.
But I was also a Tally fan. So
Tally, I'm gonna sound
Shepard.
I'm Liara.
Oh, of course you are.
Yeah.
Our vaginas can change to be whatever shape to mate with whatever species want to fuck us.
Yeah.
It's not the vagina shape. It's the fact that they. Never mind.
The Dylan experience.
Oh God! Oh my God!
I remember that.
I don't mind tentacle heads.
The older species of what is the Liara?
Asari.
That when you find that like older like matron Asari, I thought she was kind of hot.
Oh, the one that you can almost romance, and then she says, "No, it's too difficult."
No, I think you can.
No, you can, but I did in 2 when you get to have her in your party,
yeah.
because Liara wasn't really into, and so I'm like, well, she's nice, and her name is Samara.
Yeah.
But she's also got that vampirism disease that infects the Asari.
And then your ship, the AI, gets turned into a character. That was a little wonky to me, but it was fun watching.
Edie.
It was
I
fun
like
watching
Edie.
Seth Green hit on a robot.
Yeah, it's too much like real life. Yeah, I just want to fuck one of the jellyfish.
Oh yeah,
This one is. How do they say?
this one does
This
not.
one is coming.
This one. I like. Do you
Sad face.
in the Citadel DLC?
The Elcor, fucking Elcor. I
Happy.
love the different species in that game.
Yes.
It's just so fun talking to all of them.
There's actually. I'm actually going to send you guys a link to it. It's a. Never mind. It's from an illegal website, but I'll send you guys.
An illegal website.
Pornhub is not illegal.
No, and it's not. And Dylan's found one that is.
Do you remember
illegal.
in the Citadel DLC for 3 how you can like just like there was so much like there was a whole section added. And
Yeah, it was just pretty much like.
do you remember that action star?
the nightlife?
Do you remember the action star who's one of the jellyfish guys? I can't remember what they're called.
Oh no, I don't.
No, I don't think I played the DLC.
Yeah, so
I read a comic book series with one of them being like a badass.
that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the exact one I'm saying.
Okay.
But that's actually in the game. That's where he comes from.
Okay.
Wow.
So it's basically an adaptation of
expanded
a
universe.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one kicks your ass.
This one kicks your ass. That's good. No, yeah, Mass Effect 3 is phenomenal.
Sad face.
Great shooting mechanics. What happened to BioWare?
Yeah, I never had a problem. I didn't have a huge problem with the ending and that whole controversy.
I did.
We're
but
going to
that'll
talk
be another
about,
episode.
We're talking about that a month from this episode. It should be coming out. We're going to talk about some BioWare RPGs.
Yeah, I
and
had
the
a
indoctrination
problem.
theory in specific,
love that,
which
though.
theory is so good, and it is a way that saves what they fucked up.
I think it's right.
Yeah, I still subscribe to it, whether or not they want to say it's real.
Well, my whole problem too is that the original writer for 1 and 2 was kicked off before 3 because he had ideas that were, and I quote, too sci-fi.
Well, Mass Effect is not known for being a sci-fi concept.
No, not at all.
Not really.
It's about trying to bang aliens.
And
That's
they made so many concessions in 2 from 1 because 1 had the whole explained everything with the technology of what you would call Mass Effect. And in 2, they introduced ammo systems, which doesn't really fit in universe.
But it played good.
Oh, but it was so
It
tasty.
played great. So none of you guys were femships? Or
Never a fem shep.
Never a fem
me
ship.
neither.
Well, I made my shep in the first game, and I was stuck with his dumb fucking gob face because mine looked terrible too.
Yes, they always do. They look good on the screen, but when they actually emote, that's the problem.
Just watching Shepard dance makes me happy, though.
Shepard.
I can still do the dance. I do it for Allie all the time.
Tom, what was your favorite game?
Yeah, so 2012 was a bit of a weird year for me where I played a ton of stuff, but due to some extraneous medical situations, but the game I do remember playing the most was Borderlands 2. I don't know if any of you guys played a
I've
Borderlands.
played all through Borderlands 2.
Never touched one.
Okay.
The first one I only got halfway through.
Yeah,
And 3 can kind of just.
I just remember it. It was the first and only game I've played. I haven't played another one since 2. But it's just for my mind space at the time. It was a good game to just zone out. I was into like the art style.
Yeah,
it was one of the first cell shaded kind of games I played. First looter shooter or Schluter, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Schluter.
people are calling them Schluters.
Yeah,
now.
That's great.
I hate all terms.
I do too. Don't worry about it.
But, I think I just liked it because I could just zone out. I was on a bunch of pain medication.
It's literally kill the waves.
Yeah. Just put in, I started listening to podcasts around that time.
Yeah.
And
Same here. Wow. Okay.
and literally just zone out and play. I did play a lot of, Assassin's Creed 3 and Far Cry 3.
Those came out later in that year, though.
I played so much, and like I said, I don't remember a lot. I played through Mass Effect 3, and you guys are saying stuff where I'm just like, I
couldn't even remember it.
I don't even remember any of this stuff, and it makes
I don't
me
know
sad.
why I know. I think I've played through Mass Effect like 5 times.
Really?
All of them, all the way through, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so I would say Borderlands 2 is just the one I remember playing.
It's the one you feel the most for.
And I downloaded all the DLC for that and played through 1.5 of them. So I must have really liked it.
One of the things I will say about Borderlands 2 is that it knows exactly what it is. It doesn't. It cares if you like it in the way that it has to sell copies of this game. But if you don't like it, it doesn't. It also still doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's true.
I find the humor to be too LOL, 4chan-y.
Yeah.
They'll say something and they expect you to laugh, and I'm just like, you're referencing something and the reference is supposed to make me laugh?
Yes.
Can you actually not make a joke on your own? And the answer is no, it can't. But for the person who likes that, it's perfect for them.
I guess, yeah. I don't think that humor is... wasn't really
Speaking of
aged
puns.
well then. It certainly hasn't aged well now. Gameplay and the co-op. I played co-op with a buddy once, and
it's wild.
It was a lot of
it's
fun.
so much fun.
And the multiplayer experience is what kind of makes a lot of games like that. The reason I played Destiny for as long as I did is because I had a good crew of friends that I'd play online with.
Otherwise, there would be no motivation.
Otherwise, the shooting mechanics are fun. That's it.
And sometimes that's really all it takes, because that first Destiny game, every gun felt good, and it
the
felt
environments
different.
looked great.
Yes, yep.
I would love to do a whole episode about the decline of that game, because it was shaping up to be something epic, and then everything got fucked with Activision.
Yeah, we will. We definitely will. My game of this year, kind of surprising one, Hotline Miami.
Nice. I played it for 5 minutes.
So Tom knows a lot more than me.
Hotline Miami is a top-down action game where you're this guy living in an alternate reality, 1989, in Miami. And the Russian mob is pervasive. They exist everywhere. And your whole thing is every morning you get a call from your phone in your apartment, and they tell you where to go. And sometimes it's from people who are literally like horse people, or like an owl man, or like a rabbit person. And what you do is you put on a mask of an animal, and you have this Letterman's jacket, and you go in and you fuck shit up. You kill all these Russian mobsters, and this game, you have to have it's like Twitch gameplay. It's almost a twin stick shooter when you think about it, but then it gets a little more complicated. It depends on if you want to be seen, but you have to do it quick. This is not a game where you have time to deliberate. The game actually becomes more of a puzzle game, because you get into this room and it's about solving how you get through this room and how to kill every one of these people. Now, when you get killed, it snaps you right back right away. There is no delay. If you die, suddenly you're right back there, and suddenly you can retry it again almost right away. Yeah. There's no loading times.
Love it.
And it's pixel art.
When I think of games that have style, that one comes to mind.
The soundtrack.
And the soundtrack.
Yes.
I think that's the only thing I really remember.
Some of the best boss battles in video gaming, actually, surprisingly enough.
Shit.
There are only a few of them.
Throwing down the gauntlet here.
Yeah, it's a stellar game. The sequel is fine. The problem ends up being it's a sequel where it almost picks up where the other one ends. So the difficulty then just rises that much further, because this game gets horribly difficult. Brad, you might actually really enjoy this game.
Sure. I'll check it out.
They have the Hotline Miami collection. I got it actually 2 weeks ago. I was playing it last night for the first time in a long time, actually, for this. And it was $7 on sale.
One of the biggest trends of this decade is me rebuying a million games I've already bought before.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I will.
Trends of the decade. Absolutely.
I will support.
We're talking about Skyrim releases. I bought, I think, every one of these except the Switch one, which I'm still thinking,
it's fine. I played it.
Yeah, I don't need it, though. Tom,
I love that land.
Tom, let's do the 2013.
2013, a lot happened. A lot of good games in 2013, just all around. But I think the main thing was, hey, we got the new current gen now, but these were the next gen consoles with the Xbox One and the PS4. And I think the biggest story for me was the complete and utter blundering of the launch of the unveiling of the Xbox One.
The Xbox 180.
The Xbox 180. Yes. That is
they got dunked on so hard.
I love it so much.
It's still worth watching. It's still worth watching. The reaction from the PlayStation 4.
Like Microsoft.
The PlayStation 4 is...
the guy just literally walked on stage and he's like, but we also have this. And everyone's like, ooh, all right. Like features that seem obvious.
TV, dogs, sports.
They did a tutorial, how to share games with your friends. They just hand a copy to their friend. It's like, and that was it.
Yep.
Trolling.
I give lots of
and the price was $100 less too.
Yeah,
for Sony, yes,
because they didn't pack in the Kinect 2.
I was not a PlayStation 3 person, and I was all 360. It took this one announcement, and I was immediately, shit, PlayStation 4 is where it's at.
Man, so many ate fucking humble pie on that one. Don Matrick, the head of Xbox at the time, he was out. He went to Zynga, but shortly after this. But just the mixed messaging. The executives were contradicting each other. They didn't know.
Always on, always online.
So that was
Kinect mandatory.
So you came with the Kinect. That was part of the console, right? The Kinect 2.0. It was the always online feature.
Not a feature, a hindrance. A problem.
They were way, way too ahead of the curve, and at this moment. The things that they were claiming the console could do because it was online were good.
Poorly explained,
and just
not being able to share games was something that really...
It's huge.
Yeah, it was huge. You feel like you don't get to own your games anymore.
Right.
Yeah, it's mine to do with what I want. Now it's like, it's...
Yeah, or I can't buy a used game now.
It's the reason I didn't get an Xbox One for many years. It's strange to think 2013 is when these came out because it seems so long ago. We've been sitting on this generation for quite some time.
It feels like long ago, but I'm...
It doesn't for me. I don't know. 2013 when I think about the year is just ancient, but then when I think of all the events that happened, I'm like, oh, that just seems like a few weeks ago. That one press conference and just that cost Xbox the fucking
entire generation.
The generation.
Yeah.
I love it when that happens.
Yeah. And it just showed how fickle the gaming society
they expected loyalty because 360 dominated so hard.
People, we can sell them a piece of shit. They're going to come over because they're already in our ecosystem. They have their fucking game avatars and turns out nah, dude.
It's people talk about how E3 and this and that
jump ship.
Aren't as important anymore, and it's still just
they're not though.
They're not. But you have one moment like this, and it can sink a whole generation of a console.
I know.
Talking about the whole Xbox thing, some of the other news here is 2013. Also is kind of the year when crunch started coming more into the limelight, where the gaming community was starting to become aware of the conditions of making games. And a lot of that had to do with a tweet from Crytek about the Rise Son of Rome game for Xbox, where they tweeted out...
I completely forgot about that game.
What was the tweet?
It was something... I don't have the actual tweet in front of me, but it was something about by the time Rise Son of Rome ships, we would have... bought 11,500 meals for our crunching team. It just got a lot of backlash. Mm-hmm. Oh, great. By the time Rise of Son of Rome ships, I will have missed my kids' graduations. And
as much money as video games make, there's still such a tremendous pressure to get these games out fast, to get them out high quality, and to just push the employees to unreasonable limits.
It's insane. A guy that works like myself, I work in the software industry, wanted to make games my whole life as a child. Then I finally have friends who get to work on games. And when I hear their stories, I'm just like, fuck that. I want nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
You could be ready to move. Be ready to get laid off at the end of your project.
And then still, when you think about these Rise Son of Rome people and you watch how someone like Miyazaki's making films or Sakurai's making Smash Brothers, it's like, you fucking idiots. They're doing 200 hours a week.
Yeah, right, yeah. Come on, pick it up, people.
Sakurai hasn't slept this year. So I'm not trying to say it's not valid. It's very valid. I'm saying the Japanese people push themselves even...
Sakurai's a vampire.
I don't know how he lives, and he looks so young.
He looks so young,
He needs to stop making these games, man.
He needs to do something else. He needs a new game.
I want to see him make another Kirby game because then Kirby could actually be good again.
Make Kirby good again.
Yeah.
Not great. Just make Kirby good again.
I just need it
That's
to
all
be
we're asking.
good. That's all I care about.
It doesn't need to be great. Just better than Yoshi's Woolly World.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Woolly World is better than Crafted World.
Oh my God.
Epic Yarn.
Anyway,
Epic Yarn is actually a very good game.
It's pretty cute. It's pretty cute.
I love the aesthetics of those games.
Yeah.
And for kind of going back to last year's news of Disney buying Lucasfilm, well, sure as shit, LucasArts is officially shuttered in 2013, breaking Tom's heart. I was so sad. A lot of love for LucasArts. I mean, just
You
so
played
much
all,
nostalgia.
yeah, you played all those games.
I loved them, man.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. And not that I had played a lot of LucasArts games, you know, in 2013 or even in the 2000s, but...
They weren't producing much.
No, but just a little bit of... You know, my soul died, and they were actually in the midst of making that 1313 game,
Which could have been really cool.
Boba Fett, apparently.
You know, it's disappointing when someone takes over a production company and the game will be half done or however far along and they just cancel it. It's like, you've already got so much time and money put into this thing. Why not just push it to completion?
Yeah, game economics are tough, man.
I guess Disney, though, has a whole new rebranding of the franchise and they want complete control over that. So
yeah, or they just want to outsource everything.
You're gonna do what we fucking say, Lucas. You're gonna smile and quit calling them slavers.
Gosh, good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fuck your eye socket if you don't make that level tighter. Clean up the graphics on level 5.
Oh, Mickey, what's that whip for?
Oh my God. Okay, and
I don't like it when you get like
speaking
this.
of Mickey Mouse,
Mickey.
THQ officially closed.
Oh, poor us.
They made WCW Nitro.
Yeah, so the
Dylan
Yes.
spilled beer.
So this was kind of a big deal. You know, this was the official biggest AA publisher that went down. And,
Yep.
you know, they had made Saints Row, which was a great game.
I like the Saints Row series.
Never
too.
played them.
Me too.
They're fun.
3 was great.
4 is bomb.
4 is the best Crackdown game ever made.
You're a president who gets superpowers.
Your Oh Yeah released this year too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez.
That was quite the year. How about games of the year?
I'll say mine first.
Go ahead, Dylan.
At first, it was going to be Pokemon X and Y because of how it revolutionized the look and the feel of the series. But
Actually, thank you for changing that.
Yeah, we don't want to hear any more about Pokemon.
God, I barely talk about it. You fucks.
We did the whole first episode about Pokemon. I'm like, let's get it out of the system.
So it's not going to go away. I chose Kentucky Route Zero.
Okay.
Nice.
Kentucky Route Zero is an adventure game. Tom, this is in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I always wanted to play it, and I had not yet.
You should, because it is a game with few consequences, but all of it feels like it has consequences. Cool. It is a magical realism story, so it's a very realistic setting until you start reaching some certain points in the game itself. I will say this, the final act has not been released yet. Act 5.
Okay,
But
it's getting close, isn't it?
It's getting close. There's going to be a Nintendo Switch
Like the look
port,
on your
which
face.
I will buy. It's the story of this man. It's the story of it starts out being the story of this man who he works for an antique dealer and he's traveling through Kentucky. He is on his one last trip, essentially, and he's going to deliver
One more
this
time before I retire from this job with antiques.
That's right.
And he realizes that
you,
there's
American
no
pickers.
way to actually get to this actual address or location except for using the Route Zero,
hate
which is this
Kentucky.
underground trans-dimensional road that feels like it's looping, but it's not.
Okay.
And he drives his truck there. He meets a bunch of people along the way, and it's a story where
So is this
you're
Route
develop-
Zero known to people?
Yeah,
at the
it's
time?
kind of like half
Okay.
known. I would say that it's not a literal ghost story, but it is a ghost story.
Cool.
Okay, we're talking about soundtrack, and then we're also talking about visuals. This is my best looking game of the decade, bar none. This
Good.
is a work of fine art.
Awesome. I've seen
And I will.
screenshots and yeah.
It is.
We're not saying it isn't, Dylan. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Put the bottle down, Dylan.
I'm telling you, and then I
I just added a glass breaker.
now do the gun coming out of the
God
holster.
dang it.
I
Settle down
swear to
now.
God, I'll do it.
Settle down.
I just need to see the Dylan experience and then just cut to black.
Yeah,
the episode ends tragically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out though. Yeah.
it's just great storytelling.
I would say what my game of the year was, but Tom beat me to the punch, so I'm going to let him say what probably would have been mine.
Okay. despite all the new consoles coming out, this is also the year that GTA 5 launched, what has become the biggest selling video game of all time, and also the biggest selling entertainment of anything of all time. Mm-hmm. I think this is my favorite GTA. I love the unholy trinity of Michael Franklin and Trevor. The whole dichotomy of
those characters interacting it's always good.
It's great.
And I love when they cut to a different character and all of a sudden it's just Trevor in underwear getting chased by cops. I love that.
Wild.
It's so great.
There's when they announced that they were going to have 3 playable characters and you could switch between them on the fly, I thought that was going to be an unmitigated disaster. Mm-hmm. But the way it popped, the camera zooms out and then it zooms in onto them on the other side of the map. Yep. It flows seamlessly.
I mean, a lot of people said oh, well, the story isn't as strong as in
I think it was
4.
very strong.
I'm like, well, you can have your fucking Nico Bellic, that fucking
I don't
blanket.
care about
Nico was boring.
Yeah, I like the story. I mean, I played through this game multiple times.
The heist missions were fantastic.
Oh, great, yeah.
You could choose who you want to do the heist. You could we're going this way, we're going that way. What vehicles do you want to use? It's so much fun crafting your heist, setting up for it. Yes. You have whole missions before this happens.
Right. Yep.
Loved it.
Oh man, me too. I want to go back and play it again. And that's another game kind of like Skyrim where every once in a while I'll just boot it up.
Why not? Just fuck around.
And just do it. It's like, when you walk to a refrigerator and open it and like, why am I here? What did I want?
Oh yeah, Trevor.
Yeah.
I really only played as Trevor and then sometimes Franklin. I could have given a shit about Michael.
Yeah.
I like that Danny Tamborelli was his son.
That was cool.
That was
fun.
Yeah. One thing that I have found very disappointing with the Grand Theft Auto games, in all of them since Vice City, is there hasn't been a soundtrack like Vice City that just completely rocked me so hard.
Yeah.
Even just love
the radio was pretty good in 5 though.
It was fine, but I don't know, it didn't seem as curated because you have a game like Tony Hawk where every song and like you can they're so memorable.
There's a part of them that knows that I feel like they know that people are listening to like podcasts or doing stuff on the side, whereas before you would just have your TV on and what was coming out of that TV, you were absolutely paying attention to it.
You know what I wish games would implement, which they used to have back in the day? I remember booting up my original Xbox and playing Rally Sport Challenge 2, and you have your USB drive or whatever, original songs. Like you can put songs on there that are part of the soundtrack as you're playing. Yep. Could you imagine if you could boot up a podcast while you're playing Borderlands 2 and then
only when you're in the car or something it plays?
It knows,
that'd be very funny.
It knows to stop the audio when there's story and it comes back up.
I think about that all the time.
That seems so
all the time
obvious, but then
there must be a god out there if that comes into being.
I mean, I think you can stream through Spotify podcasts, and you can have some Spotify integration with some games. On Xbox, and we'll do that. But I wish there was a way it would know when to pause.
Speaking of songs and video games, my favorite game of the year, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
A lot of shanties.
Some fantastic sea shanties in that game. Dylan knows every one of them by heart.
I know many of them.
He knows many of them, and he knows the factual accuracy of the game, which it is quite accurate, I would say, at least compared to Unity.
Well, Unity doesn't do that bad of a job, but they do capture a lot of what made pirates so interesting.
Yeah. The pirate gameplay for Black Flag was fantastic. Having your ship, naval warfare and exploration, hunting sharks and whales. That game was amazing, fantastic. God. It was beautiful. The color
that game still looks good.
They still looks great. The
I'm
color
thinking
of the
of buying
ocean.
it for the Switch.
$39.99.
If you were to check out one of the recent Headline Brews episode, it was Tom's suggested pick.
It was.
Wow.
Yeah, it's for the week. Yeah. It was a slow week,
but to that one.
Okay. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It's still my favorite of the series. I particularly like Liberation Cry.
Oh, dude.
Freedom Cry?
Oh, Freedom Cry.
Freedom Cry. That expansion is fantastic.
What a baller move. And that came out pretty quick after like Django Unchained, so you really were just like,
you just wanted to charge those plantations with the machine.
You're just like, all right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the ship combat in that game has not been topped by any of the other subsequent Assassin's Creed games.
All right, so we have one more year for this episode.
Okay,
I'm just so excited to hear Dylan explain this shit to me.
Gamergate? Yes. You think I was involved in this?
No, I want to hear you explain.
Why do you think you got the year, mother?
2014. Gamergate begins. And I'm going to sum it up like this. A bunch of people. Okay,
so be delicate, Dylan.
I am being so delicate.
Way to give him this year.
I was when I was choosing the years. I'm like, okay, I want to talk about the Wii U, and we'll give him Gamergate.
Here's how I can sum it up. I'll put it as succinct as I possibly can.
Yeah, broad strokes.
Video games have been a very niche thing for a very long time, and as it starts to go further out into the public consciousness, everyone wants to be involved in it, and there are obviously now women who are more involved in video games. It's not just a boys thing, obviously.
Which is great.
Awesome. I think everyone here can agree that everyone has equal rights in those terms.
It can be a toxic culture.
It's an extremely toxic culture.
The internet, come on, guys.
Gamergate is one such version of that. And a lot of it has to do with people accusing video game reviewers of changing their scores for either money, sexual favors, any form of profit. Let's put it that way. One such incident is listed here. Obviously, you put it pretty succinctly. Zoe Quinn. She made a game called Depression Quest, and immediately the 4chaners of the world descended on her like rabid dogs.
So disgusting.
And it's really gross. I find this behavior completely abhorrent. And they accuse her of like sleeping with someone to get like a review. No, but then you have people like Brianna Wu, who is a transgender woman who made a game that I've seen playthroughs of. And despite what I could maybe judge from its potential quality, I just don't think people deserve this kind of hate and vitriol for something that they've never been a part of.
These people got doxxed.
They got doxxed. They're like, it's
death threats.
Yes, exactly. Just because you like something doesn't mean it's yours or it's a part of you. And I think that's especially what people have to take away from stuff like this. Let people enjoy what they're going to enjoy. You can criticize things.
Yeah.
But there's being an intelligent criticizer, and then there's being just a dumb piece of shit.
Yeah, on a more serious note for the year, though, Amiibos.
Oh, yeah, Amiibo games.
I was going to bring up Amiibos. You've seen my Amiibo collection, Brad.
Yeah, he's got a very serious one.
It's extensive.
Much bigger than
yours. I
have
way more than you.
That's all right. I stopped.
But you have some of the ones I want.
Oh.
I want Ike from Fire Emblem.
Man.
I was going to steal it, but... we can make a deal.
The Dylan experience. Stealing fucking Amiibos from your best friends.
Experience.
The most recent Amiibo I bought, because they're still releasing them, was Pokemon Trainer. Like, they released it like 2 months ago.
Damn.
And I bought it.
So you're the person still buying these things.
I will still buy Amiibos.
I have a friend in South Dakota who's got way more than you. I think he still has one of all of them. He even buys the misprints.
I used to do some hunting. Really? I used to Amiibo hunt, and it was one of my hobbies. Because they were so rare, you couldn't find most of the characters.
Yeah.
So I would travel to Toys R Us at least once a week, or I actually got in good with someone who worked at the Toys R Us here in Milwaukee, and they would text me if they got in certain characters.
It was cutthroat at the beginning.
And I would pay them for it.
I thought they were only really going to do the Smash Brother run.
Which, brilliant, by the way. Yep. Making them in the shape of the trophies. There was no better marketing than that.
Yeah.
So
those were the best ones.
I don't know. I still have the box of Mario cereal, which is also an Amiibo, so I think I win.
Well, it is. Yeah.
For Odyssey, yeah.
But I mean, I was part of the
What does it get you again?
I think you get access to like a costume early or something.
Sure.
I don't know. It was garbage.
Yeah.
Sure.
Shitty cereal.
Still pretty fun, though. Yeah. Was the cereal any good?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
Any other big news of that year? I don't know. I see Lindsay Lohan sued Rockstar. That's bullshit.
Yeah, this is probably the year I would define as the year where we truly transitioned into that next gen. A lot of people didn't get the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One that previous winter because, of course, they sold out. That's just going to happen no matter what. So I think this was the year. It was also kind of a slow year for games. It was a lot of people's game of the year was Shadow of Mordor.
Yes, or Dragon Age Inquisition,
which is fine. But
Shadow of Mordor is a really good game.
It's fine.
It is, but in a normal
in any other year, it would have been drowned.
It would, or a number 9 in the top 10.
It was seriously it surprised me because it was fun.
The Nemesis system was literally the only thing that was super innovative.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. The Master Chief Collection came out this year and just sucked so hard.
Did it?
Buggy as shit.
Tremendous failure.
I mean, they put something out. Was it really? Yeah.
I don't know. It's just another point where Microsoft has bungled and botched what they have as their biggest franchise, and they just don't know how to use it properly. Halo 4, not good. Master Chief Collection didn't work.
Halo 4 is the only Halo I've ever played through.
That's disappointing. But
That's very surprising.
Bungie made some high quality video games.
That first
I didn't hate
Halo,
it.
man.
Yeah.
That story was actually like very good. The second one was fine.
The online capabilities for Reach was next level. The way that they integrated so many things. You could watch any match you played, instant replay. You could go to anywhere on the map, go slow motion, make videos. It was great.
But Master Chief Collection, the idea was great.
And they're still releasing fixes,
and now
patches, and updates. It's really great.
Now I hear it's awesome now.
I can
Now
pick
it's
it up
good?
anytime that I want to play some online matches of any Halo. Works.
Really?
Yep. Works. Yep.
Okay.
And it's fantastic.
So
It's funny that they
6 years later.
It's funny that they bungled it that hard. Bungled G'd it.
But I know there was nothing there. I thought about it too. I'm like, Bungie.
I said bungled. I said bungled G'd.
Bungie did.
I saw the look in your eye.
Yeah.
I really did. I was thinking about a pun.
Well, every favorite game of the year, guys. What do you got?
For old Dylan.
Old Dylan.
Old Dylan over here.
Damn it.
Old Dylan, goddammit. I even forgot what I wrote down. You know what I'm talking about?
There's some sexy lady and some.
Oh, yes, it was Bayonetta 2, which still
Literally.
the best character action platformer that Platinum has ever produced.
God, those games are so bonkers. I love them.
Bayonetta 2
love Bayonetta
especially. Oh, God, yeah, so nice. Just the entirety, like,
Her clothes are her hair.
her clothes are her hair.
Clothes are her hair, man.
Whoa.
She
And
conditions, okay?
and she's maybe the most beautiful woman that's ever existed.
Oh, I like brunettes.
But no, it's so good. The way you can customize it is fantastic. I have yet to play Devil May Cry 5, which is a character action game.
It's on Game Pass.
I don't own that.
Enough with the Game Pass, Tom.
Hey, they pay me $5
enough
every
shill.
time I talk about it.
That's Game Pass.
Me undies.
Micro modal fiber.
I'm platform agnostic. people.
Ferrari.
Oh yes. It's fantastic. It's a mixture. The storytelling I thought was a little weaker than the first one. The first one has
There's a story.
Weaker as a story.
Angels versus the demons and crazy
No, it's
shit
funny,
happens
it's
in between.
fun, but it's a lot more clever in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they integrate it.
Yeah.
There's more actually like story wise going on in the first one. The second one, it's kind of like we're going on vacation almost.
Party with Joe Pesci at the beginning.
You're rescuing like your sister witch from hell.
And
essentially.
I don't know. This game had a controversial release too because a Wii U exclusive. Wii U exclusive.
Wii U exclusive.
Yeah, there was a lot of
one
people
of the best third party. I mean, probably
but
the best third party.
You could dress her up like Princess Peach, Star Fox, and Link.
I can only get so excited. Calm down.
Yeah, I know we're all getting horned.
Was there a
up.
Waluigi costume?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh no.
That would be in the Switch re-release.
Otherwise, there'd just be a big poster in
There
my
is a
room.
Switch release of it.
Is it already out?
I believe
Yes,
so. Yeah,
it came out 2 years ago.
And you get the full Bayonetta.
Oh, yeah, it
you
came
get the
with
full
the
Bayonetta 1 on there.
You get it's a download code, but you do get
That's right.
Bayonetta 1 as well. Bayonetta 2 just so across the board. Like there's such a depth to that combat that is so hard to describe unless you actually get it in your hands. That's all I'm going to say. If you can get past it's kind of like I'm a sexy lady aesthetic in terms of like taking it seriously is what I'm saying. But it takes it with such tongue in cheek that you kind of have to admire it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And she owns it, man. She's great character.
And she like she has fucking
sexuality.
guns on her high heels.
Speaking of sexy characters, though, my game of the year, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
What you like that Candy Kong, huh?
I was talking about Cranky, how he's hopping up on that pole the whole time.
Yeah. He's sliding.
Yeah. Now, the game is beautiful. Every level has its own organic storytelling going on just in the background.
I know, yeah.
Some of the most innovative level design on a 2D scale that you'll ever see.
Absolutely.
Art design, everything is great. But
No question.
to me, what is the most important part of the experience. They got David Weiss back to make the music. This whole soundtrack, banger after banger after banger, all over tone-wise, genre-wise. He is still the king. It's a shame that Rare didn't use him for so long for so many games because David Weiss is at the top of the game. I wish my Wii U still worked so I could revisit this.
What did you do?
I don't know. It stopped working after a while. It's kind of works, but I've had it unplugged and I want to get it for the Switch, but I don't want to spend.
You shouldn't have
40 or 50 or whatever. They're still trying to charge.
It should have been a $30 game.
$30. It should be down to
I would have
$20
paid
at
30.
this point.
I would have paid
$40 for the soundtrack, and the game should.
If it came with a vinyl record, I would buy it for $100.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, that sounds fine. Yeah. Well, I mean, tell Nintendo.
Doug Bowser.
Well, the one thing that Amiibo actually proved is that people want this shit.
Like me.
Oh yeah, of course we're all dumb. I mean, Brad doesn't even have any Amiibos. Look at this fuck.
I have a Pikachu Amiibo, bitch.
Great.
Oh, shit.
What, the Smash Brothers one?
Yeah, and
you didn't like Pokemon.
It's
bitch.
got my Pikachu. I named him Borgin Wong.
Borgin Wong.
It wasn't my best name.
Guys, can we get along?
All right.
You guys are getting too raw.
Tom,
you dogs getting too raw.
I'm on the edge of my seat trying to figure out which game you're choosing for your game.
What's it gonna be? I don't know yet. So let's just pick one. No.
Do you actually know?
I think I'm just gonna go with Dark Souls 2.
All right.
Just because it was a weak year. I don't want to. Not much to say other than I really enjoyed it. I think
underrated.
Underrated. I do think
completely underrated.
I do.
The PvP was so much better.
Yeah, I do think it's the weakest in the series of what
I agree.
But mostly because of the world design. Okay?
Yeah.
Because the first Dark Souls was so tight.
This one
so
branches.
thoughtful.
This one shoots out in every direction. Yeah.
So there's not a lot of coming back to having these revelations where you're like, oh, here I am. I'm by the pirate ship.
Yeah, exactly.
10 hours later.
Yeah.
But Dark Souls 2, a very good Souls game. And I want to give a shout out to my homies Dragon Age Inquisition and South Park Stick of Truth. Still the funniest game I ever fucking played.
It's still the funniest game.
It's fantastic. When you're the size of an underpants gnome and your dad's balls can hit you.
Yes.
That is
fucking your mom in the background. So
yes.
Very funny.
I didn't expect that to happen.
When you're going up the butt of the, who is it? Big Al?
Big Al.
Yeah. And you run into Lemmywinks and the Catatterfish.
Yes. Yep. And
Lemmywinks.
Yeah. And the puppet, the dude's puppet's like up there.
That whole level is filthy.
Kind of a weak ending, but everything else was so off the chain.
The actual ending, but I love like the
Well, the fact that
Princess Kenny.
But here's one of the truly astounding
another man's balls.
The truly astounding part about this game is that it looked exactly like the show.
Oh yeah.
No transition, no nothing. And I mean, of course, it's like crude animation. But when you want to make a licensed game, take note. Mm-hmm. But Trey Parker
make sure you
and Matt
have
Stone,
the actual creators involved.
Well, Trey Parker and Matt Stone also, they were involved, but at the same time, those guys are also gamers too. Yep. So
they wrote enough for an entire season of the show for this one game, which is fantastic. And I love that some of the game works its way into the show too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that mall episode where it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yep. That one is so good.
All right, friends, we find ourselves here at the end of 2014, and that's going to be enough for this episode.
Oh, chock full of stuff.
This
is a lot of fun.
We are the Raw Dogs. Thank you for being here, Tom. You will be back with us 2 weeks from now for the continuation of this.
I can't wait.
Can't wait.
Part 2.
Part 2. You can find us at Hot Dogcast on Twitter, Hair of the Dogcast on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
We're on Facebook. Find us there. Also, check out our Patreon. We now have some reward tiers active, and there's going to be some really fun content coming soon. So keep posted there.
If you guys keep subscribing to our Patreon, we're only going to produce more stuff. It's only going to encourage us.
Dylan's got some wacky things he's been talking about.
I've got some things. If you've ever wanted to hear me talk to people about tarot cards and all the weirdness,
and the $200 tier, the cattle mutilation tier.
Oh, yeah. I will do a 3-hour podcast about.
We were talking about this the other day, where we should do it like the Wu-Tang Clan, where we only have one podcast that could possibly be listened to once.
Oh,
we charge $3,000.
I'm doing it.
And once you listen to it, it explodes.
Yeah.
So only one person could ever.
I like this.
Yeah.
Let's make it be really bad, though, because I want other people to hear the good stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, fine.
Yeah, so here at the Dogcast, we are the Raw Dogs. You'll find us Thursday mornings. We'll be back again. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have anything else you want to say?
Just subscribe to our stuff. Make me money.
Yeah.
We don't have money.
Dylan
We need to
needs
we need to get one more microphone.
I need some nice cheddar.
Yeah.
Speaking of cheddar, let's open your cheese curds.
Yeah, I brought some cheese curds.
Woo! Right. Thanks again, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.